What is tea and therapy? This week for our webinar, I've got the fantastic Amanda Winwood from Made for Life Foundation and also the amazing Emma Pridding, Spa Director at Carden Park, here with me today to talk more about tea and therapy. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, I was so inspired at Spa Fest last year hearing more about this, and I think we really need to get it out into the wider world so that more spas can come on board. Amanda, for anyone new to Made for Life, can you share what the charity stands for and why initiatives like tea and therapy are so important inside spa and wellness spaces?
Yeah, for sure. As you know, I'm based in Cornwall, as they say, and what happens in Cornwall is it's an amazing place at its best, but there's also a lot of social isolation. And what I discovered back in 2007 is that there was no place for any, in particular, I was working with women with breast cancer, but there was nowhere for them to go. I'm not very good at being told that's how things are, so I decided that was how things weren't going to be. And in my inimitable style, I thought, well, what do people think about in terms of if they have a diagnosis of cancer? And I don't think they often think about living their best life. So I set up the Made for Life Foundation in 2008. And basically, at that time, I also was running two hotels down in Cornwall and had the ability to create some spaces where they could feel women with cancer could feel safe and confident and think about their emotional well-being. And what we did is we set up tea and therapy because Cornwall is, as I mentioned, it's people are very isolated. There's not a lot of infrastructure in terms of transport down there, and so it was to basically give people a space where they could come together as a community. And at that time, Sarah, it was 96% of spas were turning people away with cancer. So the idea was just to create tea and therapy where they could come together, experience a safe human touch, connect, and just have a really lovely, calm environment. And cancer at the end of the day, and Emma, I'll be very posh. Emma and I
No?
know that this is there is a it's called the C Club. This cancer is called the C Club, and it's the club that nobody wants to belong to. But actually, there's a sense of community where women, and I will use the word women, can actually talk to each other in a safe space and just be them. So that's how it's all started.
And so, Emma, for those who don't know, what is a tea and therapy session and how does it differ from a traditional spa experience? Because you've been running these at Carden now for quite a few years.
Yeah, we have. So, Carden Park has the pleasure of working very closely with Made for Life, and with that brought a very special bond between myself and Amanda on our initial talks on how we could deliver and make a difference to people within the industry. It's a very broad question, actually. Tea and therapy is actually what you make of tea and therapy. It can be as little or as much as you want to deliver. I think what it does, though, is it creates an amazing community outside of your normal spa doors, but it gives you the community where you can open those spa doors wide and invite people in that would normally not be in a position that they can afford or feel comfortable in a spa, and give them the confidence to come into our spa, have a cup of tea,
Yeah.
listen to Amanda and I talk a little bit about well-being, about a little bit about what the spa does, and have Amanda or one of our team deliver an amazing well-being experience for them. And Carden goes that little bit step further, and we deliver a taster treatment to everybody that comes through our doors for team therapy, and make sure that they feel confident and comfortable. And it was as nervous for us in the early days when we opened the doors and delivered the experience as what would people's expectations be. But you wear your heart on your sleeve and you're just there for people. And actually, if only you can just if you can only just give a cup of tea and an ear and listen, sometimes that is enough for some people to have that confidence. So tea and therapy for me is absolutely everything. And Carden went from doing these quarterly sessions to now delivering monthly sessions, which is phenomenal the amount of people that we have that sign up for these events. So I'm really proud of the team and what they do to deliver these events and make it perfect for everyone that walks through the door.
So do you just, I did have some questions prepared, but I'm going to say that I'm going to just jump off. So do you have a set style that you use? So is there a format that you sort of try and follow where Amanda will talk about well-being and you deliver treatments and a sort of a time that you dedicate to doing this, like 2 or 3 hours? How does that work? Just for someone who's thinking about it.
From a time perspective, and I know a lot of spa directors will be comfortable about the amount of time and staffing that they would have to give to this. It's a little bit like I said at the beginning, you can make it as small or as large as you want to be able to do. So you can start small to start with. And we do like about 30 minutes or so at the beginning, where we do like a little talk. Sometimes they'll try some products and we'll talk about well-being. Sometimes either Amanda or one of my team will deliver some breath work or some sort of mindfulness to them. And then we take them into our, at Carden, we've got like a Bollinger Beauty Bar, which has got 3 treatment beds that are like chairs that can be beds in there. And we deliver a short treatment that gives people a little bit of a taster of what they can have if they want to come and use the spa, but the confidence that they're in a comfortable, safe environment, and that's important. And we deliver now about 25 people per session every month that come along. Some that are completely new, some that come to, or try and come to each one, and sometimes we have to put like a little bit of a waiting list on it. So, you know, the demand is there, but you know, Carden Park, we chose to not charge these people to come in because it's part of our ethos and our message to deliver safeness during cancer for treatment delivery and mindfulness. So that is our one thing that we give. And it's a cup of tea. And it's great for the team. A lot of our team are SATCC trained, so that they can deliver safe treatments during cancer. So that is great as well for them to be able to do that. And it's great for the community, it's great for the community spirit, and it's sort of more of a local capture for us rather than the wider spa capture. But one of the things is sometimes it's about making sure that people in the local community are aware that you do open your doors to people living with cancer, and you do that confidently and in a safe environment.
And that leads me on to this next question. So from both of your perspectives, why can stepping into a spa feel intimidating for someone living with or recovering from cancer? And do you feel that tea and therapy helps to remove those barriers? And maybe Amanda, I'll start with you and then move back to Emma.
Yeah. Well, I think most women have a maybe we don't think we're as lovely as we are without any illness. I think somebody who's gone through cancer, I think walking into a spa can feel pretty overwhelming. It's an interesting stat, and to be honest with you, we ask, and I asked for a hands up at some of these at some of the tea and therapy about how many women have been turned away. It's lovely to see less hands going up now as a result of the work that's happening with the SATCC and better training. But I think there's often, if you're walking into a spa, and I don't know what Em will think about this, but I think there's almost an unspoken expectation that you're going to look quite well, you'll be feeling well, and you'll know what you're going to be asking for. And I think women with cancer, they don't have that. They lose their self-confidence. Your body's changed. Your confidence has probably been shaken, probably destroyed. And that environment that would have felt restorative now feels probably more exposing to you as a woman. So I think it's those are the things that inhibit women from going through into a spa. And Carden Park is for me, it's fantastic. It's at the top of its game. And what I love is, and Ems has touched on it before, is a smile and a warm welcome. It goes a long way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what I love seeing with the women is when they walk in, they get a lovely welcome from reception, and then I'm up at the top of the stairs with Emma, and we have a lovely friend of ours, Jackie, who's local, who helps. And you just watch all of that fear and concern just drift off the shoulders, and then they get a cup of tea, and then they're settled because they're meeting somebody else who's in the same boat as them. So I think those things are things that can intimidate women with cancer, is that whole body image and, oh my God, what am I going into? And will I be turned away?
Whether you feel comfortable, I guess, because I've
Yeah.
not experienced it myself, but your body changes, like you say, and your mind, you've got a different mindset because you're sort of in this journey. So I can appreciate that the welcome smile is the first thing that they see. It kind of just gives them that minute to, okay, I'm not alone. I'm with people who understand, I guess, and are in the same sort of part of the same journey. I mean, Emma, what adjustments have you made to the team briefing and language or pace or environment to kind of help ensure guests feel genuinely safe and welcomed?
Just to give the team confidence to ask questions and not be worried about saying the wrong thing. Giving lots of training. Amanda and I recently delivered a refresher training for all of the teams so that they know if they're asked a question, how to give the right answer, and to put the guest at give the confidence to the guest, really, so that they know that they are in safe hands. And touching back on what Amanda said before, it is about people coming to the spa and knowing they're in safe hands, and making sure the team are trained correctly so that they can give the same feel and ethos that we want to deliver, in the knowledge and confidence that they've got from the training that they've had. And people do leave their worries at the door, and it's amazing to watch, and to see and be part of, and see the confidence that some of the ladies who started arriving to us very scared had not been out. I mean, when we first started delivering these, Amanda, it was not long after COVID. And, we had one lady who came and she'd not been out of her house for over 12 months and spoken to anybody and had any communication. And she'd been on this journey with cancer. And to see her now, thriving and coming along to these events with confidence, it's amazing. It's really lovely to see.
12 months.
Mm.
That sudden feeling of having a community or a safe space must have been incredible for her. Wow, I love
Story on
yeah,
the back of
please.
that, actually, because I know exactly who Emma's talking about. So I'm going to add to the story. So this, she was in fear, this particular woman, and actually, what happened is she came to her first tea and therapy, and she left, and she came back to another tea and therapy the following month, and she was more huggy then because she was less fearful. But she shared with Emma and I that after that first tea and therapy, she went out for the first time in 12 months and picked her granddaughter up from school. And that's the magic that happens. And you see it happen, as Emma said, all the time. So yes, I think Carden is an amazing, formidable and innovative space which has really pioneered this work. And it's the human aspect and the empowerment of human beings to be able to do what they should be doing has been phenomenal. But also, what I will say is this same lady who had a tricky relationship with her daughters because they were in fear for her, she brought back to Carden Park both her daughters for a celebration spa day. So if you want to talk about commercially, that's called a win-win. because that's healing a family, and it's actually really supporting a business that's been prepared to put something in to the local community. That's called playing it forward, I believe. There you go.
Well,
Hashtag
that
just
was
saying.
I love it. Well, I'm going to jump around then. If this is how we're going, I'm going to jump around because one of the
Yeah.
things I was going to ask you, Emma, was about how it works commercially as well. Because I think a lot of people, Amanda's just perfectly touched on it then, you know, there is the human side, but obviously there is also the time it takes your team to deliver these. But actually, you've seen people coming back time and time again. Is that right?
We have, and as we all know, when anyone's on a journey with cancer, you know, some outcomes are amazing, and some outcomes are not so amazing. And I think that one of the things that we try to deliver is that we make everything special to people. And I'm actually going to touch on a little bit of a story about a lovely lady who used to come. I think I can use a first name safely. And we had a lady called Heather who came along um, to tea and therapy. And actually, from one of the beginning sessions, I think. And when you talk about commerciality, we do tea and therapy with our heart on our sleeve, and we try and
Yeah.
leave the commercials behind. But there are some payments with regards to commerciality when you deliver this, but you deliver in confidence. So you're making people realise that this is a safe place to come. And Heather's um, diagnosis wasn't great, but she was quite happy to tell us her diagnosis and help her enjoy those final days. And she would come along to our Christmas events, which are not tea and therapy sessions. These are just like a Christmas shopping event that a lot of spas do. But there were things that she probably wouldn't naturally have done before. And she wanted to give all of the people who had helped her along her way during her cancer journey, because her outcome wasn't great and she knew that, but she wanted to treat her friends and have some time with her friends so that she could have some enjoyment in a place that was safe to her. And she came along with, I think there was about 10 of them in total who came with her. And she came, she stayed overnight, they used the spa, they had treatments, and they had an amazing time. And I take that away that, in my memories of her, that we did something special. And yes, you tick a box from a commercial perspective because, they've had the rooms and spa, but we've made a difference because we've given her that confidence to be able to come with her friends and enjoy the experience. And she wrote me a beautiful letter after that stay, and she said it was everything to her. And that, I mean, Amanda knows the family because they were local to Carden, but just to have those words and know that you've made a difference is important. And yes, commercials do matter. But our tea and therapy, it's grown a community, and the ladies that come along to tea and therapy, they get their cup of tea, they come and have a little treatment, they sit and they relax in a welcoming environment, and probably 90% of them go into the restaurant and have lunch afterwards. So from a commercial perspective, there is, we are getting those people through our doors because they're confident to stay and dine with us. So all of it ticks a box from a commercial perspective. But my heart's on my sleeve, and that's not how this started. The commercial is just an additional benefit to us as a business. It's about giving people the confidence and opening the doors each and every day to anybody who's going through a diagnosis with cancer.
I love that. I love that story. I love I absolutely love what you're doing with tea and therapy. And the only reason I wanted to touch on the commercial side is for a spa manager or director who will maybe struggle to get it signed off by a general manager, or, because people aren't always able just to do it like you have done. Sometimes they need to present it back, say, I want to open my spa out to a wider community, and this is what I want to do. And there is opportunity. I think sometimes just helps to get things over a line at a time where businesses are so budget focused. It's nice to be able to say, look, we've got this story, we understand that this is what can happen. But like you say, and I think that's the thing that I'm really taking away, and you're right, it has to be genuine. You have to want to do it because you want to make a difference. Everything else is upside. What the real thing is, making these women feel how they need to feel, which is supported, loved, cared for, not, well, I just need doing it to make the money. I wanted to be clear on that because I thought I didn't want to make it sound like you're doing this as a way to make money, but I was just thinking to support those spa managers to getting it to signed off. What I'd love to, I've just lost my place on the questions because we've moved around a bit. Amanda, let's go back. What guidance would you give to spa leaders who want to support guests affected by cancer but are actually unsure how to begin? Where would you say those first steps do start?
Yeah. I'm going to add to your last question and just say commercially, let's be absolutely frank about all of this too, is we're living in a world where 1 in 2 people are diagnosed with cancer. So, go do the maths, I say, to any spa who thinks I'm too worried to do this. And let's think about the dynamic of the world we live in and about the importance of community and safety. So I'm just going to throw that in on the back of Emma's very eloquent and good response. In terms of guidance for spa leaders who want to begin, I'd say, and Emma's already said it to a degree, is start simple. You don't need to do a sort of transformation of your whole business overnight. Again, Emma's touched on this already. I think there's number one is make sure you have a well-trained, educated team. And when I say well-trained, I mean that they've done an accredited, approved training, and they've got the confidence and they know about the background. I'd say that as a minimum, have at least one adapted treatment that you can offer on your treatment menu. And I think the biggest thing is to have some very clear and compassionate communication on your website. When Emma mentioned we did some additional training, I went in and worked with Emma, and we trained all the reservations team, all the reception team, and actually conveying what you do in a compassionate way, I think is really important, and it needs to be done confidently. So I think that the simple fact is we've got an aging population. There are a lot of people with all sorts of long-term health conditions, not just cancer. And I think that there's a much bigger awareness of holistic well-being, which I'm seeing all the time. So start simple. As Emma said, it may be as simple as a cup of tea and just mini treatments, or somebody coming in. We've got one lovely lady, Wendy, who came in. This is another interesting story, is Wendy came to tea and therapy, and actually her daughter, I've just finished training her daughter, who's amazing therapist. So I've just finished training Marcella at Carden. But Wendy came, and as a result of Wendy doing the training, she went and trained as a yoga teacher. So and she specializes in training yoga for people with cancer. So Wendy has done something. So it starts small, and just watch the magic happen, because you will change people's lives with these events, and some of it is just, I think we could write a book really on what's happened at Carden, to be honest. And if it can happen at Carden, it can happen everywhere. Yeah. So start simple.
But is there a blueprint, or could someone reach out to you and say, I'd really like to give this a go, and you would take a call or help them or just give them that? They may have done the training and that's one element of it, but to give them the confidence, because I think it's quite an adjustment to sort of setting up something and just making sure they're doing it right. Because I think you said it both a few times. It's that confidence in delivering it as well. So would that be something people could do? They could reach out to you or.
Yeah, well, I'll just pick up on this briefly because it's something that's only just happened in the last week. Is as a result of working in particular with Emma and the team at Carden, and we've got a backlog of different types of events that we've held there very successfully. What the Made for Life Foundation trustees have created, working with Louise Baker, who's our sort of neuroscience advisor, is we've now got I'm going to call it a playbook that any spa can use and it's got templates of, oh, well, you can do this or you can do that, and here are the fundamentals. And I actually have just trialed that because I'm going to be working with Manor House Therapies up in Edinburgh, who are attached to St Columba's Hospice.
Oh,
And I
yes.
sent Lisa Kerr the playbook, and she said this is brilliant. So there is now, and there will be via the Made for Life Foundation website, a playbook that gives some information about it could look like this or that or the other. But I think Emma helps people left, right, and centre because she's that sort of hedgehog with the marshmallow inside, and there
Got the
will always
hedgehog
be
in.
a willingness to support and help other people. Sorry about that, Emma.
Yeah, I think Amanda's right, not on the hedgehog front, but certainly right in the fact that people do contact me quite regularly to ask for advice and help on starting off, where to go, how to give confidence to the team, and a lot of people come along and sit in on some of our team therapies, and we do open our doors to be able to do that confidently to try and help others, because it's about more people in the industry opening their doors and being confident. Not just about the spa at Carden, it's about everyone across the UK having the confidence and giving their team the confidence to deliver amazing treatments to everybody.
What I will do is I will take a link from the playbook, if I may, Amanda, and maybe put it with this YouTube so that if people have watched today and think, wow, I want to start, I want to get excited and kind of see where to go, they can then just click and take a look at that. Is that possible?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Amazing. Amazing. So I think we kind of touched on it, but I'd love to hear from you. Just one more thing, please. If, as far as listening today and looking to make that meaningful step to being more supportive of guests, what is that step? If they're not doing tea or therapy, is it the website? Is it making sure they're checking the website? Is it training reception? What is that first step? Amanda, I'll start with you.
I'm going to say I think it starts with website in a way. I think it's about making sure that you make inclusivity very visible. I think you need to let people know very clearly that they are welcome, because the biggest barrier that they've got is often not the treatment, it's whether they feel they can actually get there and belong there in the first place. And I think from any business perspective, to be honest, feeling you belong somewhere builds that trust, loyalty, and long-term relationships and repeat business.
Brilliant. Yeah, and it is the website because that's where they're going to look first, isn't it? If they're going to
Mm-hmm.
look and feel welcome. And then Emma, yourself?
I think making sure you're partnering with the right people as a business, making sure you're getting the support from your brands, and making sure you're educating your team to make sure that they've got the confidence, and helping others. Not just my role as spa director here. I'm on the board for the UK Spa Association as well, and I do openly help people in trying to give them the confidence to deliver it their own spas. And if they do go down the tea and therapy route with people, then that is something that we will let them come and be part of ours here, or have a conversation. And it is about this, it's about community, not just within the spa, it's community within the wider industry. And I think one of the things that I do try to help with is to give people and spa directors, spa managers, the confidence that they can do exactly the same. And yes, the commercials might not be there at the beginning, but your commercials will grow because you give the confidence. So you sometimes just have to take that teeny tiny risk and then go and deliver what you can do and do it amazingly. And the rest will follow.
But thank you so much. I think hopefully we've inspired at least one, maybe two, maybe three people to try a tea and therapy, because I think it's an incredible opportunity, especially as Amanda just said, 1 in 2 people will have cancer at some point. You've got your local community you're supporting, and it's good for your team as well, because it's good for your team to come out of the treatment rooms and be involved and support the community. Thank you so much for today. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Amanda, and thank you, Emma.
Pleasure.
Thank you
Thank
for having
you.
me.
Yeah.
You guys are great.